How's it going, folks? Bearded Hikes here, out at Markham Park for the part 2 of the exploration. I was out here exactly 1 week ago today, and we had a lot of rain, things that unfortunately cut the hike short. And today I'm back, like I said, 1 week later. Not quite sure what we'll find, but it's the beauty of the hunt. So I hope you join me and enjoy the video. Out here hiking these mountain bike trails, you got to be really careful. The trails are actually multi-use, made for mountain biking and walking. So just keep your wits about you, and if you see somebody coming down the path, keep in mind that they're trying to have fun, you're trying to have fun. Leave them a little space to get by so everybody has a good day. Morning. 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 Good morning, everybody. Hey guys. Hello. Morning. Hi. Morning, morning, morning. Now, as mentioned in the previous video, this whole area was a poor black town that thrived on turpentine and lumber production. And there used to be a whole settlement out here with a church and a school and a cemetery. And speaking of the cemetery, there's a little known fact that the ground that I'm standing on right now, although it has no gravestones on it and there's no title for the cemetery, there are indeed bodies buried behind me here from the original town of Markham, which once stood on this property. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Today, this area is very easy to walk past, and you wouldn't know it unless you looked very carefully. And you can see just barely impressions in the ground here. Let me see if I can lower the camera so you can see. There's even some that have more of an impression than these, so let's check those out. Now obviously, in person, this would really be easier to show you guys, but I'm doing the best I can here. This is a really good example of what I'm talking about. You could see right here, this area is got a very obvious impression. We walk over to it. So it's very possible that this may be the resting spot of somebody who, unfortunately, over time their gravestone was either destroyed, or a lot of times, folks, in poor communities like this, there was no such thing as being able to afford one. In that respect, we also might have to assume that this area once had no gravestones to begin with, which is quite sad. A couple other mounds right here. And I'm going to show you guys the most pronounced one. Now you cannot miss this mound. Here you can see the most pronounced mound of them all. Really no telling if this is somebody or if it's just a mound, but it's quite interesting to ponder, and it's quite unfortunate that all this history has been lost over the time. Now, I did see a trail back here. I was interested in kind of checking that out. I just wanted to give it a quick look, and we'll be on our way. Oh, here goes a little bit of some concrete. That's the first thing we found today. So that's great. Oh, look. Wow, look at this. Just over here to the right of what I just found. Have some more just in the ground, and some here as well. Also over here. So this is a great sign that something at some point was here. Have a little bit of foundations going on, kind of all over the ground. Yep, it's concrete. A little bit of a path back here. Thinking I might follow it. Here we're finding some more. right through there. Kind of scattered everywhere. Look at the size of this. Have another piece here. This has some brick embedded into it. Something over there. Ah, it's a turtle shell. Again, gotta remember, you're sharing space with the animals. This was dinner. It looks like there was an old path that kind of ran through this area. Might be our ticket to finding some more. Seeing a couple things over here. I don't really know what I'm looking at, so we're gonna go head that way. Have some brick foundation here. This tree kind of grew right through it. Looks like it was removed later at some point. Another one here. My goodness, what I just came across. Looks like there used to be a whole structure that was standing here at one point. Has been eradicated into a million different pieces. Lots of tin roofing around. Also have over here some more of that flooring. Actually, this is different flooring now, if we're being technical about it. The other one was quite different. See, some pieces came off here. I have an old tire here that's been dry rotted to holy hell. And a tin roof. Lots of pieces of the tin roof. So this is pretty clear-cut evidence that at some point somebody was back here living or had some interest back here in something. A lot of the time, you know, Florida wasn't really known for horses and cowboys and shootouts really, but we did have people that took care of cattle. This could have very well been one of those cattle houses they would have stayed in during those times. Have a large piece of cement here and some things laying adjacent to it. We're gonna keep heading that way. That's where we just came from, and I wasn't able to get through. I did see an old ditch in the ground or something of interest over there. So I want to make sure that we check that out. Coming through here now, we're finding more evidence of cement where a structure used to stand. There's quite a lot of stuff laying around out here. Have pieces of flooring kind of broken up like somebody dropped a glass plate. Brick. Some sort of cement beam. Here's a big pile of bricks. Wow, it's pretty big. Look at that. All these old bricks at one time were here for some reason. I wish I had a picture or something from back in this area, from back in the day. It would be sure cool to see what this all was. Old pieces of glass back here. This is quite old. It has an impression on the back of it or something. Coming back through here, have another ditch. Could have been related to the other ditch that I found. Have to rely on your comments. That sure was cool to see that old structure, or what was left of it out here in Markham Park.
Of course. Because, you know, he's a businessman.
If you listen really closely, you can hear something stumbling around in the woods. Listen. I don't know what it was. I have a sound grenade here. Until I get eyes on what that animal was, I don't want to necessarily walk right past where it was hanging out. There it is. Deer can sometimes be a little squirrely, so I always bring a sound grenade with me. I've actually had one of them get spooked and run directly at me. And at that time, I didn't have a sound grenade. And it was a really sketchy situation. We don't want to approach these animals because we want to teach them that humans are not friendly. Looks like a mother and her little deer baby. And I don't want to play with the protective instincts of a mother of any animal. Folks, it's always important to remember that out in the wilderness, if you ever come across an animal or something, you have to teach it that humans are not its friend. As much as we all probably know that we are not going to harm that animal, we don't have bad intentions, you got to let that animal know that unfortunately there are humans with bad intentions. So I will always opt to make a loud sound or scare them away eventually, rather than to sit and have a staring contest down with a wild animal you know nothing about. Deers are smarter animals than people give them credit for. I don't know if you can see it back here, but somebody's placed like a plastic garden devil gnome. I'm not quite sure. A lot of spider webs between me and it, so I'm just gonna extend the selfie stick here and let you take a look at it. I don't know, we probably had the same reaction. Got a Herty cup fragment here. This is history of the turpentine community out here and some of the operations they had going on. This was a clay pot. They would have attached these to some trees after scarring the trees up and down, collecting the sap. And that sap would have been used in the production process of turpentine. So out here, I mean, just think this clay fragment is almost probably over 100 years old, and it's still sitting here right on the side of the trail. I find that awesome. Kind of random, but guess I can dig it. Well guys, I really appreciate you joining me. This has been part 2 of a many-part series exploring the town of Markham that used to be here, the old turpentine logging settlement and community, really. Today it's just, again, this giant park, so we're going to keep exploring in some of these backwoods over the next so many weeks and months and just keep coming back here to see what else we can find. Today, finding that old graveyard and the old structure remains was awesome, but I know that there's going to be even more. Like and subscribe if you like the content coming from the channel, guys, and I got much more on the way. Take care.